My name is Isaac Rader, and tonight I am here, after many tries, to advocate that Mercyhurst University put on a production of Spring Awakening, the 1990s musical, based on an 1890s play by Frank Wedekind. Spring Awakening is a musical about teenagers growing up in an uncaring environment where adults are often useless and obstructive, and more often than not, as unhelpful as possible. There's growth of sexuality, homosexuality, sexual repression, suicide, child abuse. I think there's an implicit murder. And, to reiterate, this is set in 1891. There are three main reasons why Spring Awakening should be put on as a production. Firstly, the characters are incredibly relatable. Secondly, it is timeless. Thirdly, the music. People often go to musicals just for the music, and Spring Awakening will be quite the treat for them. It's an interesting mix of folk songs and punk rock. There's a bit of soundtrack dissonance between the melody and what is actually being said. Another interesting thing about Spring Awakening songs is that, metaphorically speaking, or perhaps literally, it's not all that important, the songs transport the characters to another world that transcends things like historical accuracy. A world where the characters can speak about things such as turning on their stereo or blue jeans. Not that you turn on blue jeans. This is done to sort of untether Spring Awakening from its original time period to allow it to become timeless, and miraculously this does work, preventing it from becoming dated. It makes the musical intensely relatable, able to speak to a very wide variety of audiences. The characters are relatable as well, even if you can't point to a character and say, "That was me!" You can point to a character and say, "I know a guy that was that guy," or a girl that was that girl, you know. Plenty of them have been places that we ourselves have been. Wendla and Melchior struggle with their first love and unbridled sexual desire, which leads to Wendla getting pregnant. Hanschen is gay, and so is Ernst. Georg's sexually attracted to his piano teacher. Moritz is a raw bundle of nerves and self-loathing, and partly inflicted by the loathing of others, such as his father. He eventually kills himself over said loathing. Thea purposely sexually represses herself so as to please adults. Martha was abused by her father, which I'd rather not go into. Ilse was also abused, ran away to become an artist model, and is not a paragon of sanity. These characters are all intensely relatable, with the hopeful exception of Ilse and Martha. I think many people will be able to identify with these characters, seeing a bit of them in whatever character happens to come on stage. We've been in many of the same places as them. And if not, I think we've been able to see ourselves heading down some of those same roads. Even so, in spite of the fact that Spring Awakening takes place in the 1890s, it's similarly untethered by the various themes of the play as by its soundtrack. Many of the issues that Spring Awakening raises are still relevant. While some audience members may find themselves to have outgrown plots such as that of Wendla and Melchior falling in love as teenagers, there's plenty to fuel an interesting discussion. Sex education is a subject brought up at least once in the play, Wendela's plot is essentially a very long demonstration of why it would be useful. The morality of abortions is called into question, with the author falling firmly on the pro-choice side. Homosexuality is also put into question as well, something that is often brought to the forefront in more modern productions. This brings me to the fourth theme, the fourth thing that makes Spring Awakening intensely good for a production at Mercyhurst. I've used the word relatable a lot, and that's because, simply put, it is. There's very much that the average theater goer could see, to relate to empathize to. There is so much they can find within Spring Awakening that remains timeless.